In this part of the training session, what I'm going to teach you is how to read Forex codes. Okay? So basically, how to read Forex prices. Now, normally, this is what they would look like. Okay? For example, you have the euro versus the US dollar, which is 1.3500. You have here a base currency and you have here a code currency. Okay. Now the base currency is the one on the left, okay, and the one on the right is the code currency. Okay. Now why are there two currencies? Like we mentioned before, whenever you're trading in the forex market, you're trading it in pairs. So in this case, the pair is the euro versus the US dollar. The one on the left is the base currency, and the one on the right is the code currency. And then Euro USD equals to 1.3500. So what does that mean? That means that the value of the base currency is always 1. The value is always 1 when it comes to the base currency. And the code currency, the value is the one on the right. So this means that for every 1 euro, you need $1.35. For every 1 euro, you need $1.35. Now take note that we do it on the fourth decimal. We always count on the fourth decimal. Okay, normally for major pairs, this is where we count. We count from the fourth decimal place. There are just a few exceptions, like the Japanese yen. We count it from the second decimal point. Okay? Because if we count it from the fourth decimal point, that would already be too low because the value of the Japanese yen is low. Just like what we have with the US dollar versus the Philippine peso. For example, 46.50, that means for every $1 we need 46 pesos and 50 centavos. So we only use up to the second decimal point for Philippine peso because the value of Philippine peso is low. So if we go down to the fourth decimal, that would then really be much. So we only count from the second decimal for peso and yen pairs. But for major pairs, for the other majors, we count it from the fourth decimal place. Now, the basis of whenever we buy or we sell, we use the base currency so that it's not confusing. Because remember, since they're traded in pairs, whenever you're buying one currency, you're selling the other one. Whenever you're selling one currency, you're buying the other one. So in this case, when we say we're buying the euro dollar, what we're actually doing is we're buying the euro and we're selling the US dollar. So that it's not confusing, what we do is we look at the base currency. And the base currency is the basis of our buying selling. So for example, if we say we're buying the euro USD, that means we're buying euro and selling the dollar. Whenever we're saying we're gonna sell the euro USD, we sell the euro and buy the dollar. So that it's not confusing, we just look at the base currency. Okay? If you wanna buy euros, you buy euro USD. If you wanna sell euros, you sell euro USD. Okay? So you always look at the base currency so that you won't get confused. Now, for the Forex market, the golden rule is we buy when the prices are going up and we sell when the prices are going down. That's the golden rule. Okay? You buy when the prices are going up and you sell when the prices are going down. Okay? Because that's buying low, selling high, and selling high, buying low. Now, just a few terminologies. When we say long, that also means buy. So, for example, I'm long with the euro USD, that means you're buying the euro dollar. When for short, that means sell. Okay, same thing as sell. If you're saying I'm gonna short the euro USD, that means you're selling the euro dollar. Okay, so just a few terminologies that you will encounter when you're trading in the forex market. Now, for the forex market, you will always get two prices. Okay, you will have a selling price and you will have a buying price, or the bid and ask price. That's what we call it. If you notice that whenever you go to a bank, the price of the selling price and the buying price of the currencies, they're always different. Okay, there's always a difference. Okay, and the difference, that's called the spread. Okay, for example, let's say you have here the euro dollar 1.3456, that's the selling price, and the buying price is 1.3458. There is a difference of 2 pips to the fourth decimal, okay, or 2 points to the fourth decimal, okay. So that's called the spread. If you also go to the bank, for example, you check out the dollar peso rate. If you go to the bank, let's say the selling price is 46 and then the buying price is 46.50, so there's a difference of 50 centavos. The difference, that's called the spread. Now, to be frank about it, the spread is what the bank earns. So for example, the 46 to 46.50, the 50 centavo difference, that is what the banks earn for every dollar that you trade against the Philippine peso. Okay. So in this case, whenever we're trading online or trading through brokers, they will also have a spread. The selling price will also be different from the buying price, and the spread should be very, very small. It should only be to the fourth decimal, maybe 1 point or 2 points to the fourth decimal. Okay? So that's an acceptable spread. Okay? Because whenever we trade with our banks here in the Philippines, we usually get a spread of 50, okay, 50 centavos or 50 points. Okay. So what I'm saying here is that the tighter the spread, or if we have less difference, that would be better, because our transaction costs will be cheaper. Okay, so it would always be better to have tight spreads, and that's about it. Okay, now I mentioned earlier points, pips. Okay, so what are they? Okay, so let's talk about counting pips. Okay. What are pips? A pip is a measurement of price movement in Forex. Okay, a pip is a measurement of price movement in Forex. Remember, I told you earlier that we always count from the fourth decimal place. Now, this is where it applies to. Let's say we have the euro dollar at 1.3500. Let's say the price goes up to 1.3501. Now, what happened there is that it moved up by 1 pip. The price moved up by 1 pip. So that's a pip. It's the measurement of price movement in Forex. Okay. So let's say it goes up to the fourth decimal. That's already 1 pip. Let's say it goes down to 1.3499. Same thing. It moved down by 1 pip. So up or down, what we're measuring is the difference in prices. So let's say from 1.3500, it goes up to 1.3510. That means it moved up by 10 pips. Let's say from 1.35, it goes down to 1.3495. That means it moved down by 5 pips. So up or down, it doesn't matter. What we're counting is the difference from the original price to the current price. So that's a pip. It's the price movement in Forex. So what are pips for? Okay, so what are we saying in these pips? Okay, now how much is a pip? Okay, for example, you buy at 1.3500 and then you go up to 1.3501. That means you got 1 pip. Okay, what does that entail you? Okay, so how much is a pip? Okay, now you can always dictate how much a pip is. Okay, it's up to you how much it is. You will always set the volume on how much your pip is. Okay, so just to give you an idea on how much it is, normally traders trade on a standard lot. Okay, that would be $10 per pip. The volume is 1. Okay, $10 per pip. So for example, you buy at 1.3500, and then it goes up to 1.3501, and then you close the trade, you get 1 pip. If you traded on a standard lot, that would be $10. Okay. So for every pip that you get, that would be $10. Now, you can always change it. Let's say you have a relatively smaller account. Okay, it can't handle the $10 standard lot. You can decrease it to a mini lot. A mini lot is, the volume is 0.1 instead of 1. So that's just $1 per pip. The lowest that you can go is 10 cents per pip. That's called a micro lot. A micro lot, the volume is 0.01, and that means you're trading at 10 cents per pip. So for every pip that you get, you get 10 cents. Now you can always customize how much your pip is. For example, you want it to be $5 per pip? Sure, no problem. You just set your volume at 0.5. You want it at $2 per pip? You set it at 0.2. You want it to be 30 cents per pip? You set it at 0.03. Okay. If you want it more than a standard lot, let's say you want it to be $20 per pip, sure, make it 2 volumes. Okay, volume 2. So you can always change how much your pip value is, and this is basically where we manage our risk. Okay, because whenever we control how much a pip is, we can always control how much we can potentially earn and how much we can risk. Okay, so this is very valuable. We always have to check how much our pips are. Okay. All right, now let me just give you an example. Again, what we're doing is we multiply how many pips we get with your pip value. Let's say you got 1 pip, and then your pip value is $10 per pip, you got $10. Let's say you got 5 pips in the trade, and then you got $1 per pip, you get $5 in that trade. Okay, so you multiply your pips with your pip value. Okay, so let's have an example. Let's say this is the euro yen. Okay, since we're trading with the yen pair, we count from the second decimal point. Okay, not the fourth decimal point, only the second decimal point. Okay, so let's say we entered here at 128.46. Okay, that's the price where we entered, and then we exited at 129.97. Okay, I'll save you the hassle of computing for how many pips we got. That would be 151 pips in 3 hours. Okay, so if that's a standard lot, if you're trading on a standard lot and you got 151 pips, that would be a lot of money. That would be $1,000 and that would be $1,500. If you're trading on a mini lot, $1 per pip, that's still a lot, $151. If you're trading 10 cents per pip, it's still not bad, $15. Okay, so see how we did it? We multiplied how many pips we got with our pip value. Now, this is an example of short selling. Okay, short selling, we sell high and then buy low. This is earning from a downtrend or charts that are going down. So this is the Kiwi dollar. Let's say we sold at 0.8291, and then we exited at 0.8274. So that would be around 17 pips in 15 minutes. Okay. So again, it depends on your pip value or how much your pip is. If it's $10 per pip, you get $170. If it's $1 per pip, you get $17. If it's 10 cents per pip, well, it's not much, but it's still better than nothing. That would be $1.70. Okay, so we always multiply how many pips that we get with our pip value. Okay, now for computing losses, it works exactly the same thing. Let's say you lost 1 pip, 2 pips, 5 pips, 20 pips. You multiply how many pips you lost with your pip value. Okay, so let's say you lost 20 pips and your pip value is, or your volume is $1 per pip. You lost $20 in that trade. Okay, so we multiply how many pips we get or lose with our pip value or volume.